I know there's a large European following here, but every American school child learns the name Harriet Tubman in elementary school. But because we learn about her so early in our formal education, we often get a watered-down malaise of information that conceals what a total badass Tubman was. Now, if I owned a major streaming service, we'll call it, I don't know, Betflix, I wouldn't just slam black characters into TV shows and claim I'm helping diversity. I would just make a 4-season epoch about Harriet. Season 1 could be her upbringing as a slave who suffered an egregious head injury from a slave owner, causing her to have hypersomnia, or excessive lethargy and sleepiness her whole life. Season 2 could be her escape to the north into Philadelphia. Season 3 could be her return to the south as a Union nurse. And what I want to talk about would be Season 4, which would be the Combahee River Raid. Tubman, after using her connections to generals in the Union, and after years of working as a spy, navigator, and saboteur for the Union, was put in charge of 3 steamboats to sail down the Combahee River. She navigated a set of water mines and led Union troops to burn down several plantations on the river, freeing approximately 750 slaves in one night of pirate-like raiding. And despite life's attempts to nerf Season 1 Tubman by making her 5 feet tall and a slave, or Season 4's attempt to nerf her by putting her into an impossible situation for someone who couldn't even read or write, her badassery was just too much to nerf, no matter what life threw at her. That brings me to Poison Necromancer, which has seen a drop-off due to some nerfs over the seasons, but surprise, you're going to see a benchmark set here, and I saved this one for now because I knew it was going to score well. So, power ranking episode 12, 13, 14, somewhere where we're going to get this in, Poison Necromancer. So, this class benefits from having 2 good skills in Poison Nova for AoE and Desecrate for single target, which are synergies of each other, and both will be maxed. Since you're using P&B skillers, any tough packs or bosses that don't go down can have Desecrate placed under them, followed by some corpse explosions on the corpses without sacrificing your poison damage, since Desecrate is over 3 seconds. So if you're quick enough, you can flip it over, pop off some corpse explosions for free because the corpses aren't necessary to keep the poison damage going, and then flip back for another Desecrate. So, single target, well, we'll go over here in a bit, but my Desecrate with a decent Bramble, 45%, and a moderate amount of facets, I think I had 4 in all my gear, is about 45,000 damage over 3 seconds, and Nova was around 17 or 18k over 2 seconds. So the Desecrate is certainly better for single target, and since you have 3 seconds before the damage needs a reset, like I said, you can pop off those corpse explosions. Your FCR may not be great on this class, so do what you will with that. It's just a matter of, do you have the skill to pull it off or the quick enough fingers? You don't even need to really do it. But the big stat sheet number is cool, and all that damage is good, but it's not like a physical Zealer level of stupid. I mean, this is mainly just because map bosses like Belial at the end of this background video have 50% elemental res as opposed to 20% physical res, so phys classes tend to do better on single target bosses on maps. It is still good damage though. I mean, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It takes the boss down, I mean, pretty easily. You also have your own curses to lower res and just crank up that damage even more. Onto that, AoE. Poison Necro is in old Season 2 levels of insanity, and it got some decent nerfs over the past 2 seasons, but it is still really good. You have a teleport skill. If built right, you should be teleporting right into packs and getting maximum coverage on your Poison Nova, which will shred almost anything without a lower res curse on, and will shred absolutely everything when you pop the curse. I actually think the most underrated part of this class, is that you can apply a Nova and then pop the res after it because the poison damage has to tick, which you wouldn't think speeds up the class, but it really does. So 9.5 out of 10 on AoE. It's really wonderful. It's easy to play, and you have so many options on how you want to play. You can literally play this with Desecrate and Corpse Explosion, and it's just as fast. So safety. This is an odd one here because of that melee limitation I've put on safety, capping them at 6.5, and I'm counting this as melee because it has to be in the pack. But, and a big but, you don't have to teleport into packs like you kind of do with Nova. You should, when you see an aura, just pop a Desecrate. It has sight level range. Stay out of the pack and just let the Desecrate finish off the boss with the aura. Then you can jump in Nova. So it's really optional because that Desecrate skill is so good. Also, run a Steel Shade and maybe even sack a skill ring here for a Dwarf Star in this class. Getting max block and PDR corrupts or block corrupts, it really just helps your survivability. So I gotta bump that 6.5 off up to like an 8 off that melee limit because it's technically optional. Also, if you're a safety slut like me, just have your Merc drop the Infinity, which really isn't needed. It does plenty of damage already, and have the Act 2 Merc use a Doom. Get one with the Defiance aura, and it's basically unkillable. I mean, you can bump this to a 10 out of 10 safety if you do that. I hate asking for subscribers. I think it's cringe. And at the same time, I want people to watch my videos, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite. But if you want to, the sub button is here in the corner. That corner, there, right there, right there. Now, I have to give you something. So I guess if I hit 1,000 subs, which is very far off, I think I'm only around 360, something like that when I'm recording this. If I hit 1,000, I'll do a face reveal, and you all can figure out what I look like. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? I'm recording something here, man. Bruh. Privacy. Some people. Ubers. Well, guess what, guys? Necros are good at Ubers. Who would have thought? You know, at level 90, you should have enough dump skills to get at least 3 golems, and that's if you maxed lower res like I do. And you can get more, yeah, you can skimp on lower res and get more golems. It's a perfectly reasonable build option. The golems are good enough to hold the Ubers in place, and you're just limited by mana. Now, I've run every Necro on Ubers except Poison, but I want to highlight one video I found from Nikola Goranov. He only has one video up of PD2, and it's his mildly well-geared Desecrate Necro doing Ubers. At level 39, with an OK D-Web and an OK Bramble, and not even full skillers, he was easily able to crap down the Ubers using health and mana pots, and he didn't even use them all. So can it lock down Ubers and direct their attacks? Yes, with the golems. Can it use mana and health potions? Yes, it can. Will you need all of those potions? Certainly not. And can it be done with your Merc dead? Yes. 10 out of 10. It's got everything you would want in an Uber killer, and it's probably one of the best to do on a budget. So, gearing ease. Finally, I can bitch about this class. It's expensive, slightly. I mean, D-Webs, especially ones with good corrupts and sockets, are through the roof expensive, and there's really no good alternative. Bramble has a stupidly large roll on the poison damage. I think it goes from like 25 to 50 or 30 to 50, so you can basically scruff all of the rune value making one if it rolls low, and you have to sell it for pennies on the dollar. That said, you're only fighting poison zons for poison facets, so they're a little easier to nab. And all in all, you can MF with this class and clear maps really fast, so if you started the season with this, it shouldn't be that hard to accumulate wealth. So even though you have 2 expensive gear pieces, I mean, the rest of it, there's substitutions in the meantime, and I mean, it's not that hard to gear. 6.5 out of 10, just because it's a little expensive. I mean, Playstyle Ease. It's a safer Nova Sork. I mean, you have a great block chance in the PDR on a Bone Flame Skull, which is probably what you're going to use. But the freedom to avoid aura packs, I think that's just absolutely wonderful to have. And you should have a couple golems up and a Merc tank and absorb some hits. I mean, what else to say? It's easy peasy and it is low stress. 9 out of 10 on Playstyle Ease. So our new tops, as I suspected it would be, is Poison Necro with an 8.33 out of 10. It's been nerfed and people fell off it, but I don't know why. It's still amazing. It's why I'm speeding through this, because it's just, I knew this class was going to be very, very good. The only real knock on this class is the price, which, considering it's really just the D-Web and the Bramble, I mean, it's not even that steep. It has a few different build variations to cater to you personally, whether that's Doom versus Infinity on a Merc, how many golems you want, if you want to mix in Corpse Explosion for funsies. It handles high life juicy maps well, and it has a teleport skill. I mean, what's not to like here? See you guys later.